Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen, we are floating through space.
this is the Sexy Podcast
No.
with Kai and Nick.
Yeah, Mr. Weller's gone now, so we don't have to hide our
Well, it's because
our desires.
It's because he's married, so he
and
couldn't.
also,
He
it's
couldn't enjoy the.
27.
No, he just couldn't enjoy the Sexy Podcast with us.
Oh, yeah, he was warded off for this edition of
Yeah.
the music podcast. I am host Kai Hamilton, 11th grader and talentless hack.
I am also an 11th grader. I'm Nick Bajestani, but I wouldn't consider myself a talentless hack.
It is overconfidence, good sir.
Exactly.
Vast
Confidence is key.
Overconfidence. Overconfidence is a flimsy shield. That's a Zenyatta.
Oh, I see. Well, today we are missing our other man, Mr. Waller.
Our the greatest of our hosts, the best of us, is not here.
Temporarily.
He will be making an appearance at some point in the podcast. I'll do some nice editing, so then his voice will just suddenly appear randomly. So we'll just you'll wait for that surprise. Okay, it'll be a great way to transition into this podcast.
So on today's episode, we're going to be doing our favorite albums of 2020, of which Kai has listened to so many albums.
I am very astute on all of the modern tunes. Am I right, fellow kids?
Oh, yeah.
I love them new releases. I am such a fan of modern pop music. I love it so much. Please, Daddy, give me more pop.
Of course.
Please.
All right, Kai, you want to start us off with your...
Okay. Well, if we're doing, our albums of the year, because we're so original. Last time we did albums of the decade. Now we're doing albums of the year. We're great variety on our show.
All right, guys, don't worry. Next time we'll have something more varied.
A little more varied. It'll be the career.
Don't spoil it.
The career of an artist that will be mentioned today. So
Yes.
if you want to try to decipher that for your own, it will be pretty crazy. Anyone who just post it in the comments of this one, we'll give 3 cents to. So
We'll give a big old smooch too.
we'll give you a PlayStation 5. It'll
PlayStation
arrive
5 giveaway happening here. You heard it first. If you wanna do it, get us to 1,000 subscribers,
1,000
guys.
subscribers in the next week, and we will give every single one of you a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, my
okay?
group actually cooked a few thousand, so we should be good. Anyways, Kai, start us off.
Okay, so number 5, we're going to start off with Knack 2.
Oh,
It's
magnificent.
It's an amazing record by Sony Studios.
If you guys haven't listened to it yet, you're really missing out.
Knack 2's soundtrack is
man.
just so... It made me cry.
My favorite part is when he says "Knack 2, baby."
Ice is nice. Okay?
Ice is nice, you know.
It was so crazy. I fell in love with
Riveting.
that soundtrack.
Riveting.
I hear it in my head whenever I'm walking down the street. Like, even if I don't have headphones on, that is the soundtrack that I'm listening. I don't even know why it's number 5. Okay.
It should be number 1, but
It should be number. But there are records that are even better than that.
shocking.
In my dreams,
How
I hear
could something be better than Knack 2? But you know, Kai has the answer for you here.
Yes. Okay. So the second number 5
Mm-hmm.
is going to be the new Bright Eyes record. I forget the name.
Very
Bright Eyes
professional.
was okay. Bright Eyes.
Give us a little background on Bright Eyes, Kai.
Now, Bright Eyes is one of my favorite bands of all. The record is called Down in the Weeds, where I always forget the titles because they're so long. Down in the Weeds, where the world once was. Bright Eyes is one of my favorite bands. They're very sad and emotional, if you know what I'm saying. Connor Oberst just kind of sitting on a guitar and rambling on about all of his life. If you haven't heard I'm Wide Awake It's Morning, or Lifted, or The Stories in the Soil, Keep Your Ear to the Ground, or Fevers and Mirrors, listen to those records. They will get you through your angsty teenage years, as they have for me. This new record is towards the later half of their career, they got a little overproduced, and this record is no exception. But it's pretty good. It's got some good lyrics. Obviously, I had such fond memories of it. I couldn't even remember the title. Bands are always better when they come back. Am I right?
Especially
right.
after they've been going for 22 years. They get better with time.
22 years?
Yep.
Oh my God. Connor Oberst, you need to grow up. You're still singing about the same old garbage about how you're so sad and no one loves you. And that's true, even though you're worth like $500 million. I don't know how that guy's worth so much damn money, but he's pretty cool. Now, number 4, we got Circles by Mac Miller.
Oh my god.
I'm a big fan of Mac. No, I'm not. This is the only record I've heard from him because the other host recommended it to me, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was a pretty epic record, if you ask me. It was really sad, and it was because especially knowing for those of you who don't know, Mac Miller died at the age of 26. Was it last year or the year before it?
2 years ago, 2018.
And this record was near its completion when he passed away, and they kind of shambled it together with what was left, and it sounds like a finished product. It's probably his best work to date, and it's very sad that he didn't get to realize the rest of his career. But it's a good record. Everyone should listen to it. Good news, that song is depressing.
That was my most listened to song of the year. Fantastic song.
Yeah, just very, very, very sad. Okay, number 3 coming in with Punisher, Phoebe Bridgers. Really nice indie folk record. Phoebe Bridgers actually worked with Bright Eyes. There's a connection there. They had not Bright Eyes, Connor Oberst from Bright Eyes. They had a little band called Better Oblivion Community Center. Really good album. This album is also really good. Phoebe Bridgers has really realized her sound, I think. She's got a really great voice, really great instrumentals, very just kind of vibe music. It's not something you rock out to or something that you play when the boys are trying to party. You just kind of sit down, and it's very nuanced, and it's just a nice little ring to your ears. Number 2, we've got Gorillaz.
Song Machine Season 1.
Song Machine Season 1. They are pretty epic. Gorillaz. I mean, I put Plastic Beach on my best of the decade, and this album it could also be on the decade of 2020. I mean, if the music output is this lackluster for the rest of the decade, like, man, this album was really good compared to other things I heard, which wasn't much, to be fair. I don't keep up with modern music very much. I like the sad boy 2000s albums, like I like the Postal Service and Weezer and the Velvet Underground, even though they're 60s.
It's because he's a loser.
I'm very much a loser. But yeah, Song Machine kind of like it's all focused on singles. Every track is really great. Every track's a banger. Great features, very well used. Gorillaz kind of has lost their original purpose for their formation, but they're still making good music. So,
and they've been doing it for 20 years, so
yeah.
They're doing a lot better than a lot of those other bands.
2D, he never quits. There's something really about that guy.
Yeah, did you ever hear about Murdoch and him?
It's if you guys haven't read up on the drama going on in that band, it's crazy, man.
Apparently their drummer died.
Yeah, and he was
still living though. I don't know how.
No, he was like resurrected. It was crazy.
Okay.
It was crazy, man.
Yeah, so if you ever see him on stage, just know that he's not like he actually came back from the dead. Yeah.
And a lot of the time, there's like 2D has this weird stand-in guy. His name's Damon. He kind of goes up on stage.
Yeah,
often.
sometimes.
It's really weird. I
look out for the guy with no eyes though. That's 2D.
That's 2D. The other guy is just this talentless hack. He's like 50 years old. No one cares about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But number 1.
Oh man. You've got to be a loser to say this.
Making a door less open.
Oh.
Car seat headrest.
Oh
my
my
god. Oh my god. Car seat headrest. They're like the greatest band of all time. Okay. So Will Toledo, he was like, I don't really want to make traditional albums anymore because I listen to singles more than albums more. So I'm going to make like every track independent, functioning from itself, completely betraying what he did before of making like story-based albums. He just doesn't do that anymore. It's crazy.
A lot of people did not like it. A lot of people did not.
But like, it grew on me over time. Like the first time I listened to it, I was like, this is pretty good. And then I saw Will Toledo's face, and I just like, there should be a map to get out of his eyes.
This will lead into my hot take later.
Like, oh my god, like Will Toledo. If I saw that man at the supermarket one day, my feet would be unable to move. Like I wish he was younger. I wish that man was younger.
Sad fate.
It is so sad. Will, hit me up anyway. My name's Kai. I got a Twitter account. Kai the Movie Guy. Please tweet me. I love you, Will.
If there are
Uh,
any other hot singles in the
no,
area, you can hit up Kai at that
yes,
same
please,
same
Will,
handle.
please, Will. Okay. Uh, but the songs on that album, there are some good ones like A Life Worth Missing. I'm a big fan. Can't Cool Me Down. Really good song. Hollywood, Will, I'll never forgive you for that track. That was terrible. What did you do? Why did you make that song? Will, I love you, but why did you write Holly? What compelled you to continue creating that song after you started writing it? Why did you want to make that song? Maybe it'll grow on me later, also, so I continue to look into your eyes, Will. But
All
for
right, we're gonna
now,
move on. Thank you for your epic list, Kai. Thank you so much.
only 5 albums. I didn't even listen to 10 albums this year, but like those albums I did list, I genuinely do enjoy, especially Knack. It's
I think it wins. If I had a number
if
11 on my
Will
list,
Toledo wasn't so cute, it will be number one, but it's not
you're
because
saying Knack's not cute?
Knack is ugly. Okay,
Shut up.
Will, please, please, Will. I take off the gas mask of your performances, man. I want to see your eyes. Just, I want to get front row seats, so like, just you spit on me when you sing.
Um. Okay. Well, if you guys have ever heard of JPEG Mafia at his concerts, he'll spit into the mouths of women, so they'll open their mouths, and then
Oh
he'll
man,
just
I wish
go
Will
right in
did
for it.
that for me. Holy
Anyways, we're gonna move on to my list in hopes that Mr. Waller comes in eventually. Anyways, number 10, I had
Burger King foot lettuce. The
Burger
last
King
thing you
foot
want in
lettuce.
your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus. But as it turns out, that might be what you get.
Also known as Modus Vivendi by 070 Shake. It's her first album debut, so it's pretty impressive for it. I mean, I listened to more than 10 albums this year, but I'd say the ones that are below are like 5 and under were pretty good, just nothing groundbreaking to me. Like it's got a very synth heavy sound, very electronic and lots of warped vocals, but it's pretty good. I would
It
recommend
is
it.
worth noting that the music output was significantly less this year than
Yes.
other years because of COVID, like with everything else. But albums did still, in fact, get released.
Yes. And number 9, Tame Impala's The Slow Rush. So this came after Currents 4 years later. And I don't know, really good album. It's pretty similar to Currents in terms of sound and sonically it's pretty much the same, but it doesn't have the same unique factor that Currents did when it came out. It kind of just sounds like, I don't know, more of a B-sides to me, even though that there's already a B-sides of Currents. But still really solid release. I wish there was more variation because there's only so much of Tame Impala falsetto or Kevin Parker, whatever you want to call him, that I can listen to. So I don't know. It gets a little thin sometimes. It gets a little boring, but still really good album. At number 8, I had Denzel Curry's Unlocked with Kenny Beats. Super cool collaboration between producer Kenny Beats and rapper Denzel Curry. Really short. I think it's only about 23 minutes, 24 maybe. Someone can correct me on that later. But just a bunch of short, energetic hits that Denzel Curry's got. I mean, lyricism's always great. He's really clever with wordplay. He's pretty funny too to listen to, and he's got a really unique voice. It's super raspy and aggressive, but awesome album. Number 7, I had Nubia Garcia's Source. It's a jazz album. I mean, it's pretty long. Like a lot of the songs are 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're not into that, that's totally fine. But there's not really much lyricism going on here. It's just like really well made jazz, good composition. If you like saxophones and pianos, then hey, this album's for you. Number 6, Run the Jewels 4. Yankee and the Brave has to be one of the best songs I've heard this year. It's so hard hitting, and a lot of the album's message had to do with the events going on this year, specifically around Black Lives Matter and police brutality. So if you're into hip hop and you like political messages, then I would highly recommend. Great album, anyways. Number 5, Fleet Foxes Shore. I'm offended you haven't listened to this,
I'm
Kai.
sorry. I'm
How
sorry.
dare
I'll
you?
listen to it. I love Fleet Foxes.
How dare he's not a real fan because he hasn't listened to the new album.
Listen to it.
I think it came out on the solstice. I don't know. I could be wrong
It
about
came out on the
that.
solstice, and most of the
Yeah.
proceeds are going towards like actually protecting the shorelines of
Yeah.
coastas, because I mean, Fleet Foxes, they're all about that nature and environment, and I'm sure it's really good.
It is. I mean, it's not. Here's the thing. It's not as good as their other albums, I think. It probably ranks lowest for me, but that doesn't mean it's a bad album. It's mainly just a series of good tracks. Nothing blows you away, but consistently good. And hey, you can't really fault a consistently good album.
And it's Fleet Foxes.
And it's Fleet
come on.
Foxes. I mean,
chill out, man, and listen to the.
if you're into that, yeah. Oh, just like that. Kai sings it real well. But if you're into that more rustic sound, if you want to drive in the mountains or
Indian words.
something, yeah, you're into that indie sound, dude. Then yeah, this
Really
album's
gotta
for
chill
you.
out.
And it was inspired by when the lead singer was out at the beach or something like that, and he had a near-death experience in the water, and he came out and he's like, "Whoa, I have to write about a shore." That's exactly it.
He's a strange guy. Like he had like two of the most successful folk albums of the last decade, and then he goes, "I'm gonna go back to music school."
Yeah. Went back to music school and then made a pretty experimental album after that. Like experimental.
It was still folk.
Yeah, it was more experimental folk. It wasn't
Crack
like
up.
anything abrasive, but still super good. I also had for number 4, Gorillaz Song Machine Season 1. Kai already covered all the good points about it. Great features. Not really like old Gorillaz, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Has Elton John on it, and he sounds great. I love
We
him.
do love Elton John, but he's not as hot as Will Tilly.
Yeah. Anyways, number 3, King Cruel's Man Alive. One of the best albums I heard this year. It is fantastic. The lead singer has a very deep British voice. I think he released his first album when he was 17, and he did it all by himself. Don't even compare him to Will Toledo, Kai. I know they both did stuff when they were
Will
younger.
Toledo recorded his first album in his car, and that's why his band is called Car Seat Headrest, because he recorded his songs
Wow.
in his car alone with a shitty microphone in like on his MacBook laptop.
That's why it sounds so bad.
That's why it's awesome.
It doesn't matter if he did it by himself. It still sucks.
You haven't heard their old stuff, okay?
Uh-huh.
It's
Okay.
just as good. It's just not as produced.
Yeah. Anyways, Don't Let the Dragon Drag On. Probably one of my favorite songs of all time. It's so good. It's a very heavy, like, it leans heavily into the drugged sound. So it's pretty subdued in a lot of times, but songs like Stoned Again get pretty aggressive, and super epic album. Highly recommend. Number 2, The Weeknd, After Hours. Super big Weeknd fan.
If you close the door, the night can last forever. Leave us out.
I'm leaving.
That's the Velvet
I'm
Underground After Hours, sung by Mo Tucker and written by Lou Reed. It's a great track.
We don't care about that
It came
old
out in
head shit here.
1968. And I think 69.
No one cares about that.
Yeah, it's way better than
It's
The
old.
Weeknd.
You don't even listen to The Weeknd, Kai. Shut up.
He's the guy from Uncut Gems.
Yeah, it's that guy.
I didn't even know he was a musician when I saw Uncut Gems. I just thought he was an actor.
And then my number 1 was Mac Miller's Circles. Pretty much the same as what Kai covered. I've been a pretty big Mac Miller fan for the past, I think, 6 years at this point. It was really sad to hear about his death in 2018, but the fact that this album sounded so complete and so like Mac Miller was really nice, and I'm glad they're not just squeezing cash out of him. But yeah, that was my top 10 list.
I was late.
Wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he needs to.
I am Lord of the Rings. Did we just do our top 10
Yeah.
of the year?
I did my top 5. I didn't have 10.
Top 5, right. So number 1 is The Big Day.
Okay, go
By Chance the Rapper.
10 to 1.
Okay, I kind of ordered them. I had them all ordered on the whiteboard, and then someone erased it, so I tried to recreate it as much as I remember. Number 10, I had 070 Shake, Modus Vivendi. Super fun album that I was really looking forward to after they did the vocals on the Kids See Ghosts record.
And they were on Ghost Town.
In Ghost Town, yeah.
Or part 1 and 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the album did not disappoint. It was very fun. Laura Marling, Song for Our Daughter, coming in at number 9. Really beautiful, heartfelt record. Laura Marling does not have a daughter, but you should still listen to it. I guess at number 8, I had Fleet Foxes, Sure. Fun little surprise album. And I feel like the Fleet Foxes have kind of like made this very specific personality for themselves, and the fact that they released the album on the fall equinox was perfect for that kind of persona that they've put together. And then next at number 7, I had Pray for Paris by West Side Gun. What a fun album, very good. The auction track at the beginning was very funny, and some of the vocal lines are very funny, but there's also just some really good flows, and I love the really jazzy beats. Very cool. Number 6, I had Folklore by Taylor Swift. You know, I wouldn't really call myself a Taylor Swift fan.
A Swiftie?
A Swiftie, you
This
might
man
say.
is in his late 20s.
I am 24, thank you very much.
or early mid 20s.
I'm still allowed to be a
Taylor
fangirl.
Swift fan.
But yeah, I thought that was a great team up with some of the peeps from the National, especially Brian Dressner. I thought that was a really cool combination of sounds, and I really like her hooks and melodies. Then at number 5, I have Nubia Garcia with Source, really awesome jazz record. Her tenor sax is really, really sweet. And then I had Run the Jewels 4 by Run the Jewels, super cool album, really awesome tracks. I think that Killer Mike has just some awesome one-liners on that, and some of the punchlines to some of the jokes in some of his tracks are just really awesome, really clever. Number 3, Set My Heart on Fire Immediately by Perfume Genius, just a freaking awesome record. Some like really cool, delicate pop tracks like Jason, and then some really heavy kind of grungy tracks like Describe. Really, really cool record. Yeah. Number 2, I had Women in Music Part 3 by Haim, which was a killer album. I, again, was not a huge Haim fan. I listened to their first 2 records, but wasn't super into their music. And then when they started putting out the singles for this, I started really getting hooked, because they had obviously Summer Girl. I think in the summer of 2019 they released Summer Girl, and it's just an awesome. It's basically just Walk on the Wild Side Part 2. It's got like this great bass riff and then saxophone, but really groovy. And so
That's
then
a Lou Reed track from 1974.
that's right. Yes. For those of you who don't read, that is a Lou Reed track from 1974. Yeah, awesome album. And then my number 1 this year was Man Alive by King Cruel. Love King Cruel. I think he's gotten progressively better, and I think that this is his best that he's done yet. Archie Marshall, the singer there, really cool album. Makes you feel like you're a power line in the British countryside. And those are my top 10 of the year.
Now, the greatest tragedy of this year was the fact that Weezer's new release, Van Weezer, was delayed until next year, May of next year.
I think that's Kai's hot take, because I can't say I'm as disappointed as you, Kai.
No, okay.
I think it's for the best.
Well, no, the 2 singles off of Van Weezer were not that bad. Okay.
Wow, not that bad.
No, like
I didn't think we needed something else bad for 2020.
Okay. Weezer. Now I know their last like 20 years of albums have been pretty underwhelming, except for White. White's a good album. People out there listen to White. It came out in 2014. No, I think it's 2016. It's pretty good. It's only good Weezer album since Pinkerton, which is amazing. Listen to Pinkerton, people. It's way better than Blue. We'll talk about that one day. But,
Yes. It's a topic for another day.
but Van Weezer, if you haven't seen the album cover, look it up. It's fantastic.
I think Hurley beats it out, but not by much.
Well, Hurley, a correction to my list, Hurley's number one every year for
Yes.
Eternity.
Yes.
But
I think we should have clarified
yeah,
that.
the 2010 album cover alone makes it just a masterpiece of modern music. Just incredible.
Yeah, truly.
Rivers, I don't love you quite as much as Will, but again, hit me up. I know you're like 54 years old, but you're still pretty cool. Grow up, by the way, Rivers. Grow the hell up. You are so old singing about this like California girls, and you're married, man. Like grow up and sing about something real for once. Thank you.
I love your TikToks.
Oh, your TikToks are amazing. Well, not Will. Rivers. I would never insult you like that, Will. Please. Please.
In reference to Will, Kai, I hate to break it to you, but Will Toledo is just not that attractive.
Is this your hot take?
This is my hot take. Yes.
Will Toledo. There is no man more attractive than Will Toledo, or woman. Will Toledo is the most attractive being to ever grace this planet. Okay, have you seen his dog ears on his gas mask? Like, do you have something against dogs, good sir?
No, but I think we've established that Kai is a furry.
I am not a furry. I am not a furry.
Only a furry would like that.
Exactly.
But if it's on Will Toledo, it looks pretty good. Just because, like Will, your hair, like your voice, man. I love hearing you whisper your darkest secrets into my ear. Please, Will.
I didn't expect the podcast to take this turn. Thank you, Kai. Very cool.
This is what happens when you leave us alone, Mr. Waller. I love you, Will. Nick is so wrong about you. If you like stop listening to this podcast, because I know you are. I know you're listening to this right now.
He's one of our 7 listeners.
Because Nick said that you are not attractive, don't listen to him. You are so hot, and the fact that you're single right now, it makes your music better, but it's also a tragedy. It is a
Cool.
tragedy.
Cool. Very cool. Very
Okay.
cool. Mr. Waller, do you have a hot take? If you don't, that's all
Do
good.
you have a hot take?
You know,
Mr.
I
Waller?
actually do have a hot take.
Oh.
The other day, I re-listened to the song "Barbie Dreams" by Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj is I'm gonna argue that she is superior to both Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, both of which
Whoa.
we're releasing some really good tracks this year. But I went back and listened to some of the tracks off of Queen, like I mentioned, Barbie Dreams, and I think Nicki Minaj is the better rapper.
Are you speaking her entire career or just like modern stuff?
Good question. I mean, I would say that Nicki Minaj is probably more versatile throughout her career. She could do some really like fun, goofy pop, and then she could drop some really nasty, awesome rap songs like "Only," which is a really, really good song. So you know, she could do it all.
You know, I think I might agree because people give all the credit to either Cardi B or more recently Megan Thee Stallion for revolutionizing, women in rap, but they weren't the first. Like, I doubt Nicki Minaj was either, but she really brought female rapping into the spotlight.
Yeah.
Actually, a revolutionary album in that regard was Wendy's mixtape.
Yeah, I mean there were plenty of great female rappers in the 90s and even in the 80s, but I think one of the things that I love about Nicki Minaj, you know, one WAP came out this year obviously, and it was an important song for a lot of reasons, but I think going back and listening to a lot of Nicki Minaj's tracks, she was kind of messing around with some of those themes and doing some of those things way earlier. Again, to reference the song Barbie Dreams, the whole song is just this really humorous kind of roast reel of her making fun of different rappers by imagining what it would be like to have sex with them. And kind of just this, you know, she's kind of just inverting the normal, you know, you get like Lil Wayne and all these rappers who would say just the most ridiculous stuff and tracks that are about, you know, sex. And Nicki Minaj kind of flips those on their head, and there's just really, really funny there's just some really funny, clever lines that flip flip the script a little bit. I don't know how much I can quote because I don't know who our 7 listeners are. But yeah, give it a listen. It's great.
I think that WAP gets all the credit because of just how vulgar that track is, and it was a mixture between cultural relevance and also shock value that made it such a hit. It's also like the mixing and like the actual instrumentation on that track is pretty good. It's a solid track. I mean, if you didn't speak English, you'd probably just think it was like a normal, you know.
Also a little ridiculous that so many people were getting outraged by the song coming out.
You are so out of touch, and you are a hack fraud. Ben Shapiro, you have never had this isn't my hot take, but Ben Shapiro, you are talentless, and you have never had a good political opinion. You do bad political takes for a living. That is what you do. Trans people do not belong in mental hospitals, you idiot. If it's selling people's houses who are when they are underwater from global warming does not solve the issue. Is there any other stupid stuff you said? Racism is an issue in this country.
Rap is music.
Rap is music. Rap is music, Mr. Ben Shapiro. And the remixing from you reading the lyrics pathetically to WAP getting all offended and trying to diagnose women with like a vaginal disease because they're singing about getting sexually aroused is pathetic and stupid, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Imagine is not the worst song ever made. Also, you have terrible, terrible taste in music, and you have no authority over music in general, just because your dad went to music school. You have no music taste, and you should just shut up. Just shut up.
What if
have to agree.
Ben Shapiro left his wife for Will Toledo?
It then came out as trans, and then Will Toledo wrote Twin Fantasy 2 about
Wow.
about Ben Shapiro.
Making a door slightly open.
You thought 2020 had it all.
Oh my god! If Ben Shapiro dated Will Toledo, that would be so funny. Oh my god.
Ben Shapiro.
No, Ben Shapiro, you're also not attractive. Side note: that does not speak to your character in any way, but you are not attractive.
Well, thank you guys so much.
I have another hot take.
Oh my god.
Okay. That wasn't the hot take. That was okay. My hot take that relates to music and not how hot Will Toledo is or how stupid Ben Shapiro is now there is one way to end a song that has been quintessential for the entirety of music's existence on records, and that is the fade out. And there's no more boring way to end a song. Okay. Like do something interesting with your ending. Do like a big climax. Do like anything that isn't just like, oh, I'm seeing in the distance. Oh, look, I'm getting further away. And it's just over. That's so stupid. A lot of the best tracks ever made, the best part is the ending. And when your song ends with a fade out, it leaves me going like, wow, that's a bad taste in my mouth. I want something like explosive to end your track with. Like, it's stupid. You're dumb. You're stupid, and you suck.
What about the Beatles and the Beach Boys?
Okay.
Frequently used.
Those are frequently used, and I don't like that. But
Totally fair.
that is an aspect of their track that I do not like. Of course, the Beach Boys and the Beatles are still talented musicians, but I wish they had. And that was like a staple of the era. But now that we have music has evolved now, guys. Like, move past the fade out. Get rid of it. Do something more interesting.
Personally, it doesn't take away or add anything for me. Like, I understand the complaint.
That's why it's the default. It's because it does
Yes.
nothing. It's just the easiest way to end a track. You don't have to think about anything. You just add a fade out. Like, you drag and drop a freaking effect on Audacity and it ends your song.
Well, I think that's all. Have a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen.
Will Toledo, I hope you're listening.
We hope Will Toledo's listening, and we hope you stick with us for another episode.
I hope that you know you're attractive and that Nick is stupid.
Thank you. Stay safe out there, guys.
And on that note, there is no God, nothing we do matters, and we're all going to die.
Fair.
Have a nice year.
Wonderful.